Let's have a look at the nervous system. What is the nervous system and what exactly is it made up of? Nervous system is a grouping of different nerve cells put together called neurons. These neurons are structural or functional units of the nervous system that are responsible for carrying messages called impulses in the form of electrical impulses. If it were not for these neurons, we would not be able to detect our surroundings or our stimulus. Let's have a look at the parts of a neuron. A neuron is divided into three different parts: the cell body, a dendrites, and of course the axon. Each and every particular part has a specific function. The cell body is a roughly rounded part of a neuron which contains the nucleus, the mitochondria, and most of the cellular organelles. The cell body is more or less like the brain of the neuron. The dendrites are like finger-like projections that extend from the cell body that pick up stimuli from the environment or from other neurons or from sensory receptor cells. They are responsible for picking up these stimuli and passing them on forward to the cell body. The axon are basically transmitting processes, or we could say like a wire, that extend from the cell body and help to send signals onwards to another neuron, other neurons, or effectors, which are basically muscles or limbs within the body. What is the function of the neuron? When a single neuron in an effector, like a muscle, detects a stimulus, the receptor from the muscle sends a signal or impulse to the dendrites, which are connected to the axon, which in turn relays the message to a next neuron. Neurons are not interconnected because there is a space or a gap dividing them. This space or a gap is called the synapse. The synapse contains a special chemical substance called a neurotransmitter, which is present only on one side of the gap. So where a neuron ends and another one begins, only one side of the neuron will have the neurotransmitter present within it, so that when an impulse from a neuron is sent in one direction, it will only travel in that direction. If it receives an impulse from the opposite direction, then that impulse will only come in one direction, and that is from that opposite direction. Neurons are of three different kinds: the sensory, the motor, and the relay. Sensory neurons, as the name suggests, are cells or receptors that transmit impulses from, you could say, for example, your fingertip, where receptors or sensory cells are present, and they transfer them or transmit them or conduct them to the central nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord. The motor neurons, these transmit impulses from the central nervous system. So the impulses that your brain or your spinal cord sends out towards the effectors or muscle cells are transmitted via your motor neurons. Relay neurons, they exist in both the brain and the spinal cord. They serve as a link between two neurons. So they help in communication basically between either the sensory neurons and motor neurons or any other neurons that may exist within the human body. Let's have a look at the organs of the nervous system. There are three types. the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. The nervous system, we know, is responsible for the overall functioning of our body. The nerves are responsible for conducting and carrying impulses to the brain and to the spinal cord and vice versa. When we look at organs such as the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, etc., or other organs that help in the functioning of the nervous system, I hope you've enjoyed the presentations. If you'd like to see more presentations, you can always visit us on our website at www.arrangeacademy.com. Furthermore, for a subscription, you could always check us out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/arrangeacademy. You can subscribe to us also on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/c/arrangejaneacademy. Thank you.